I got something in the mail today. Yay! Let's check out this letter because it was interesting enough immediately upon opening it that it made it to the board already. Hi everybody. I got a letter today. Let's look at it because I thought this was interesting enough that it might end up being one of my first official entries onto the conspiracy board. We'll go over that in a future video, but I wanted to share this letter with you that I got in the mail. First of all, it was a handwritten envelope, and you think, oh, this must be from a family member or somebody I know, right? So you pick it up and you grab it, and there's no return address, and you're like, okay, that's interesting. Let's take a look at what this letter is. Started reading it, and a couple things popped in my mind. One is what we've talked about recently about how things that are so bad have such good names. It just makes you feel like, well, how could I be against the Patriot Act? You know, we've been there. We've done that in past videos. You know what I'm talking about, 1913 specifically, and another one recently. Point is, this reminded me of that, and it made me think that data centers can be added to that list. It sounds clean. It's just data. It's just a center with data. What could be bad about that? The fact that it's an enormous facility consuming staggering amounts of power, energy, and water while also contaminating that water in many cases, moving residents out of their homes and off their land, NDAs being signed, and oh, by the way, not telling us what they're actually for. Like, all that stuff is kind of a thing, you know, all that stuff. And I think something like surveillance center or flock support facility would be a more accurate name. That's just me personally, but I don't get paid the big bucks to name the things, so data center it is. Made me think of something else very interesting when I noticed something on here, but we'll get to that in just a minute. As I read through it, I saw things like companies need to be held accountable and do things responsibly, and I thought, oh wow, yeah, nope, I'm with them. This anti-data center propaganda, I'm into it. That's cool. And I saw how data centers are a critical part of our infrastructure and super essentially awesome and beautiful. They also support core services that communities count on. And then I realized, like, oh, they're the away team. The away team sent me a letter, and then I thought about that and I was like, okay, I can't see them sending a letter if things are going like well, right? They wouldn't waste the money on actual paper. They'd send me an email that I would get rid of immediately. Made me think, are they like on the back foot a little bit? Because I'd be okay with that if that were the case. Other things stood out to me as I read through this letter. Let's touch on those. Who's the away team is the first thing I thought. Who actually sent this letter? So I went to the top and I looked to see what the name of the organization is that sent this to me. And well, they had it spelled out here. It's the Critical Infrastructure of America. Doesn't that just go back to what we talked about in the beginning? It just sounds good. I thought critical infrastructure, yeah. You know what? Recently I did that no gravity video, and during the research on that, I realized our infrastructure is in a critical state. Our bridges and tunnels have an average grade of a C-, and it's one thing to hear that in a video, to actually see the documents and the grading yourself when you're doing the research for something. Again, that was for the no gravity video. By the way, August 12th is when we're supposed to lose gravity, and that's coming up pretty quickly, actually, so I hope everyone's prepared. We only got a couple weeks left. We might have to live stream that morning. Maybe we'll do a video in between then and now on that, but I think I gotta at least live stream that day. But anyway, to get back to the point, critical infrastructure of America. Our infrastructure is critical, but this is not about our critically shite infrastructure. Instead, no, it's about how awesome data centers are. It makes you wonder, like, what do y'all consider America's critical infrastructure? The bridge and tunnel that I drive on may or may not 50%. I might make it till I get to the other side. It might not, but that's not critical. Data centers are the critical infrastructure of America. It's not about our infrastructure, but there's something else I want to point out about the name. Let's sound that out one more time, because you just can't make this stuff up. You just can't. Let's sound it out together. And let me know what it is you notice about the name of this organization. I'm going to need some of my more dialed in viewers to leave it in the comments or say it out loud if you'd like. Critical Infrastructure of America. Critical Infrastructure America. Yep, there it is. Yep. CIA is the acronym. Okay. Can't make it up. And not just that, but they actually have it on the paper at the top, the letter CIA, except they did something cute. They made the eye look like a lightning bolt for, power and energy, and also to just not look like an eye, because otherwise it'd be pretty hard to not just see CIA on the top of this paper. And then the C is either like a hippie with some dreads and ponytails, or like a jellyfish attached to the letter C or something, but whatever. Not so glaringly obvious that it literally just says CIA at the top of the document. You want to know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that theory with The Simpsons predicting the future, or Family Guy doing the same thing, or things that happen in movies and they happen for real like a year or two later, and you're like, wait, what? What are all these coincidences? But they're not coincidences according to some conspiracy theories. Some of those theories say that there's this evil karmic thing that has to happen, right? They have to tell you what they're going to do before they do it. It's their way of absolving themselves from guilt or sin or whatever the case may be, and that way they're like, hey, we told you. You guys are just doing it willingly. It's like a loophole get out of jail free card, whatever. It just reminds me of that, doesn't it? This one letter, it's got it all. It's about data centers, which are clearly critical flock support facilities, aka surveillance centers, and it's literally sent by an organization that does the whole beautiful name thing, Critical Infrastructure of America. And then when you think about the acronym, it's literally the CIA, and they put it on top of the paper. CIA, a couple things. One, there's a QR code on the bottom of this paper. Y'all think I'm scanning that QR code? You're crazy. Secondly, the really nice, welcoming, handwritten letter now feels a little creepy to me. Are y'all intimidating me? Is this the CIA like, hey guys, data centers, they're gonna be a thing, whether you like it or not. It's critical for our infrastructure. Bridges? What bridge? There's tunnels and bridges? Hey, Frank, did you know there was tunnels and bridges in America? Nope. No, all we're worried about is the data. I'm just saying, you can't make it up. So this is going to be, and we'll do a video on the conspiracy board. Don't worry, relax. Everyone get off my back. But in the meantime, this is going up on the board. Oh, I messed it up. Welcome to my conspiracy board, CIA. That's Critical Infrastructure of America, if anyone's wondering. That CIA, I don't know what the difference is, technically. I'm sure they're not connected to them through some sort of third-party mercenary who owns like 30 shell companies. I'm sure that's not it. This is probably totally a legit organization. I am not intimidated by this at all, but just in case, leave me alone, guys, okay? I got the hint. I'm not stopping, though. We're going to try and get some Miami Mall body cam footage. I did a little more research the other night, and I found it very interesting that not a single news agency filed any sort of public request for videos, reports, or anything from the Miami Mall incident, which I find that highly unlikely that would be the case in a normal circumstance. So I've been talking to some of y'all in the comments, and I think we're going to try and file a FOIA request or something akin to that for the Miami Mall incident and see what we can come up with. Yeah, that's weird. Kind of strange. Has anyone gotten one of these? Please let me know in the comments. And please don't let me be the only one that's gotten one of these, because just probably not going to sleep very well tonight if I find out no one else has gotten one of these. So let a brother know, will ya? We got a couple more Miami Mall videos coming soon, so please stay tuned. And see anybody dropping stuff in your mailbox and it's a handwritten envelope, I don't think there's nothing you can do about it but read it, but just let me know, basically, okay? All right. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. I'm out. Anyway.